We ask that everyone except the guest judges and student participants please remain muted the entire time in order to make sure no one's being interrupted and that we can move through the schedule easily. So to begin with the general program introduction, today we'll start introducing our judges a bit, as well as Dojo for those of you who don't know, and then move to the student presentation order so everyone can see which groups presents when. We will be having as well a brief intermission that'll be about 15 minutes after all of our students go, so our judges can deliberate. So that'll be a good time to take a quick break for anyone, and we'll come back. We'll tell you guys exactly when that is. At the moment, we think it will probably be from 5:25 to 5:45. We just want to ensure that, if any of our, sorry about that. If everyone could just stay muted, please. We'll make sure to adjust that time if the presentations are a little shorter or longer than we think. So next, we're going to go to the presentation order, I believe. Oh, sorry. Well, first we're going to go and explain what Dojo is. So Dojo is a semester-long student-led workshop series designed to challenge freshmen and sophomores at Brown and RISD to think differently about innovation and entrepreneurship through weekly classes and design workshops on Tuesdays and Fridays. And next we're going to go to the order of our presentations. So we'll have Friend Tour first, then Seer, Ignite, Shtick, Ticket, Link Up, and TechWise. So awesome. So that's a presentation order. Here are the Dojo mentors this semester. There's me, Rachel Markey, Zach Rosenfeld, Hadley Benjamin, Jake Aaronkrantz, Bridget Griswold, and Jack McDonough. Awesome. So next we're going to have Jack introduce some of our judges.
All right, I am excited to announce this year's judges for Demo Day. Amelie Vavrovsky, Dave Fan, and Jenny Stager. Amelie is a graduate of Brown. She founded Formally, an intuitive file filling service that facilitates immigration processes. This service empowers applicants and attorneys by breaking down bureaucratic barriers that make these transitions often inaccessible. Dave is a senior principal at Waterman Ventures, the VC fund focused on the Brown community. Waterman Ventures is part of Alumni Ventures Group, which is the most active VC in the United States by deal volume. Jenny is also a graduate of Brown and is the chief scientific officer of NanoDropper, a company she co-founded while obtaining her PhD in pharmacology. NanoDropper produces efficient eyedropper adapters that reduce medication waste and render expensive eye medications more accessible. So these judges will pick first, second, and third place winners. First place winners will earn $500 from our Nelson Center of Entrepreneurship to go towards their ventures. We are so honored to have you all here with us. Thank you. So now for the reason that we are all here, pitching. A reminder to everyone, each pitch will be no longer than 8 minutes and followed by around 3 minutes of questions for our esteemed judges. So let's get started. We have Aman, Noah, and Elliot kicking us off with Friend Tour, so take it away, guys.
Good evening, everyone. It is a pleasure to speak with you today. My name is Aman, and I'm a sophomore, as are my partners Noah and Elliot. When I came to Brown as a freshman from Sri Lanka, I struggled to get accustomed to the new cultural and social norms of university in America. It was lonely and mentally taxing, and being an extremely social person, I wasn't used to spending so much time alone. I can just picture myself in that dorm, feeling sad, anxious, helpless. I found it hard to connect with my roommate, my peer advisor, or my academic advisor. In other words, I didn't feel like I had anyone I could reach out to, and it greatly affected my well-being. Noah and Elliot had similar experiences adjusting to college, and our personal stories led us to these guiding questions. There are a range of anxieties that revolve around what courses to pick, clubs to join, and how to make new friends and put yourself out there in general. College does offer some support, such as advisors and orientations, But why then are so many people facing these core issues of feeling lost, stressed, confused, and lonely in their college environment? Our bottom-up research helped us understand that there is definitely a big problem in this space. One of our main sources was Dear Blueno. Dear Blueno is a Brown-based Facebook page where people can post anything anonymously and receive replies on their post. We found that Dear Blueno posts, shown here, were flooded with first years voicing their frustrations and anxieties about transitioning to college life. We also had numerous conversations with our community, both freshmen and sophomore, on their experiences. We knew we had our own issues, but we were overwhelmed by how many and how intensely people were struggling with college. In addition, to gather large amounts of data on the effectiveness of Brown support services, we sent out a survey to approximately 100 college students. This provided a good opportunity to be anonymous over sensitive information. As seen here, almost half of respondents did not find Brown's advising helpful, and 70% of students wanted help to handle college-related anxieties. This is where our solution, Friendtor, comes in. My partner Noah will tell you about this.
Thank you, Aman. Our solution revolves around a simple to use yet extremely effective platform that puts students directly in control of the peer-mentor relationships available to them. We started our project by doing lots of research into problems associated with mental health and the lack of resources often allocated to students. However, the more we looked into it, the more we realized that problems of loneliness, confusion, and stress in adapting to a college environment were the cause of the mental health concerns we wanted to target. To combat this, we came together to create Friendtor. Our app works by connecting students looking for peers or mentors to talk to with our registered Friendtors. Friendtors will submit a profile, which will give a description of who they are, their interests, extracurriculars and studies, and the topics ranging from stress to loneliness, which they feel most comfortable talking about. The Friendtor profiles will be compiled on a neat home screen, and anybody looking to use the platform will be able to scroll over all the prospective Friendtors and pick the one they feel best fits them to reach out to. Recommendations will be made using data matching software, or they can search using keywords. After a connection is made, the two can begin to talk through a private messaging feature on the app. Potential topic recommendations will be made ready for Friendtors, but the skills for initiation of conversation will be covered in an educational module. However, for connections made for reasons other than mental health, say for advice on a concentration or an extracurricular, the users will always be able to sculpt the interactions in whatever way they desire. Friendtors will be vetted through an interview process to ensure they are fit for the task. This process will involve an application asking questions regarding communication, background in social support, and work experience with community organizations. They will then interview with a current member of Friendtor to see if they are a good fit. If chosen, they will have to complete a quick 15-minute educational module on how to approach, empathize, and build relationships with mentees, and how to recommend and use resources available to them. But what does Friendtoring mean? Friendtoring provides a one-on-one environment for students to receive support, advice, and direction in order to be able to succeed at university. Friendtors can really be anyone. The more diversity and selection, the better. The only real requirement will be an understanding of the confidentiality necessary and a true willingness to participate in what the program has to offer.
Thank you, Noah. Our business model is based on a subscription model at a set fee for colleges to purchase in order to help integrate our system into their own communities. Our user base will consist of students who will have completely free access to our platform. Thus, our target market for our end consumer persists of students typically in their first semester and upperclassmen who are avid about helping younger students. As we are not selling directly to our end consumer, our target customers are universities throughout the United States. Although we will be starting small here at Brown, we have a large, mostly untapped market opportunity. For example, once we begin to expand, a possible 5% market capture at a base fee of $5,000 per year would bring in roughly $1.2 million in revenue. We have created a safe space for college students to feel comfortable and confident in reaching out to somebody. Our platform is anonymous, which will remove the stigma around receiving help. We have an easy-to-use platform that will allow the user to implement their needs into our software in order to personalize our recommendations of Friendtors. We will have a reliable vetting process that will guarantee genuine help for students. Our service is also mentor specific, meaning that our sole purpose is to help students in their transition to college. Adjusting to college is an incredibly stressful process, and our close competitors do not explicitly focus on these problems. Our direct competition are university-sponsored programs. Mentorship programs, academic advisors, and other services are typically too formal and do not provide the friendly aspect that our service is built upon. Our indirect competition are apps such as Bumble BFF, Meetup.com, and informal university Facebook pages like Dear Blue Note. Although these services match people together, they do not focus on creating a community of friends and mentors and lack features that provide help. We plan on finishing our technical development shortly and implementing a beta test on a group of participants in order to find areas of improvement. We will then release our platform to the Brown community for greater test usage and plan on releasing a full version of our app and begin widespread marketing after further testing. Then our focus will shift to expanding nationwide and see how we can best mold our app to each new college in order to fit their needs.
Our team is extremely academically diverse. Along with our diversity in backgrounds and passions, we understand and identify with the issues that make Frentor necessary. We are the best people for the job and will be able to discern the developing needs of the app and the communities it affects. Our motto is inspired by a simple Ralph Waldo Emerson quote: "The only way to have a friend is to be one." We believe in the power the service can provide in reducing stress and loneliness in the community, while also being an amazing utility for people on campus just looking for new connections or mentors who they know will be vetted on one key trait: friendliness. The only question that remains is, will you join this bubbling new community or miss out on all the incredible connections just one click away? Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, guys. Judges, take it away with any questions.
Hi, I have a question. I was wondering how you envision your app integrating with advising programs that already exist in universities. Will this be a supplemental program, or are you looking to replace programs that already exist? If the latter, how will you convince universities to, I imagine, reallocate funding that's already earmarked for existing advising programs?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Thank you. I think there's kind of two parts. So I think I'll try and tackle the first part, and I think Elliot might be able to better handle the second. I think it's obviously it's going to be case by case dependent on the university. Every university has different programs in place. Specifically speaking with Brown, a lot of the current advising programs we find were often mostly used for academic purposes, which we see ourselves handling much more just kind of the student life. And it can be academic, can be extracurricular. The ideas kind of can be anything, but found in much more kind of the emotional peer-to-peer connection. Which right now the biggest thing that could be most used with that is the Meiklejohn program. But as our data showed, that only kind of works when someone really gets someone they like and they find it lucky. And I know from my own personal experience and talking with other Meiklejohns and other people, the Meiklejohns aren't really used for a lot of kind of stress or emotional issues. It still tends to be much more kind of academic. So I think we see ourselves working supplementary to that. However, if we could eventually almost replace that and divert funding through that, I think that's the most ideal. And Elliot, if you want to take the second with the funding.
Oh, basically, I would just reiterate the same thing. We are supplementing their services because many of their services are outdated, and most college students don't need a formal system to help them integrate or to help them tackle these problems of college life. Most university systems are way too formal and just don't provide sort of the next step in order to help these kids integrate into the college environment.
I think, Elliot, if you just elaborate on the Facebook-like strategy which we're using.
So we're planning on using a Facebook-minded strategy, as in we're going to implement our service by having first some beta users in each university to kind of show and demonstrate the demand and the necessity of our service, and also to show how effective it is. And once we get 20 users on a service, it's going to show that the university will want to actually pay to help integrate the service and to help all their students basically use our platform in order to help integrate and adjust to college.
Yeah, and there is a clear need for this. We feel already, because clearly, at least on Brown, the current programs are not working. Just the other day, an article was released in the Brown Daily Herald, our newspaper, which dealt with all of the current issues that students were struggling with, and there was a clear cry for help and for better emotional and at least psychological and mental health support. And that the university is clearly lacking in that regard. And we think that we can not only help with that, but support the other advising programs that are already in place.
This is really cool. I have two questions. One is around sort of well, in my legal tech startup, I think about like client attorney relationships, and I'm like really curious how you sort of manage not moving into like a patient client relationship with some of the mental health counseling. So how do you address that and the potential like HIPAA compliance or other sort of compliances you might need to seek out of? And then the second question is, what is the incentive structure for mentors to sign up on the platform?
Yeah, so we've got, when we interview mentors, we've got an educational module that they will be having to review. And then in that educational module, we'll teach mentors how to approach these students who come to them. And we'll also detail the boundaries by which they cannot cross. So if mentors, which this educational module will lay out, and the educational module, just to reiterate, will be vetted and approved by the National Association of Social Workers. And if everything will be laid out in a way where if the mentors feel that the conversation is moving beyond a certain point, that which this point will be clearly established through this educational module, then they will report this with the student to Brown-based services.
Yeah, and I think it's the mentors are students, so they're not registered doctors, and they're not signing anything HIPAA. The whole idea, the most important part of it, the idea is that it's a student going to another student, someone they can see as a friendly face, who they can see around campus, meet up with. And so a lot of the confidentiality comes through both what they express to the other student, what they want to be kept secret, and a lot of kind of that'll be covered, as he said, a lot in our educational module when we interview and when we vet, to make sure that these people are really people we can trust, to be able to be trusted with that responsibility. But they're not trained professionals in the sense, other than kind of what we bring to them. The whole idea is that they'll be able to approach every situation differently, because they're students just like us.
And to handle the second question for the incentives for their mentors, so we've already, as Dear Blue Note was one of our main bottom-up research points, we found that there was already a lot of demand for people of older students that want to help younger students out. And Dear Blue Note is a platform where they can go in informally, and you can like respond to a question or two, but there's no real way for these students who either didn't become a Micklejohn or didn't get through these highly competitive processes to become an actual mentor from the university, for them to have a platform to help younger students. And through that, we'll also offer a level of each time you have a student and you help them, you gain a level of experience, and you basically get to the point where you get these certain badges and prizes as you have more and more students and as you help them. And it's also just a great resume booster in general.
Thank you so much, everyone. In order to stay on track, let's now hear from Seer.
Great. Are we ready? Claire, Sonia? Okay, awesome. Sorry, give me 1 second. Hi, super excited to be here. My name is Grace, and I'm here with Claire and Sonia. We're the co-founders of SEER, which is an eye care venture seeking to ease the negative effects of screens without reducing screen time. So for me personally, I'm a computer science concentrator. Picture this, it's 4 a.m. I've been sitting there for 16 hours, staring at my screen, trying to finish my CS project. My eyes feel so dry and itchy, but I have no choice but to continue coding. Before the pandemic, my screen time was already high, but after we all went remote, I started spending more and more time on my laptop and started getting chronically red eyes and headaches as a result. So my experience is really common today. Out of 58 people we surveyed, the average total screen time was 13 hours a day, meaning almost all waking hours are spent on screens. And then 57 of our 58 respondents also reported one or more negative side effects from screen time. Since productivity shouldn't come at the cost of our health and well-being, we wanted to look into two things. So first, what solutions for eye strain already exist, and are they well known? Second, since much of the reason our screen time has increased so dramatically because of the shift toward remote work, we wanted to see what universities and companies could do to support eye care.
So from our research, we found three major causes of eye strain. The first is blue light. Studies have shown that excessive exposure to blue light contributes to eye strain, fatigue during the day, and even early macular degeneration, which is the deterioration of the eye that can lead to early vision loss, according to the Mayo Clinic. Currently, the most common solution in the market right now are blue light glasses, which use a protective lens to block out blue light emitted from screens. A study from the Journal of Medical Imaging shows that screen time symptoms are consistently rated as less severe when participants wore blue light glasses compared to regular glasses. Though blue light glasses may be the most widely known product, we weren't satisfied that they were the only solution. What we heard when we talked to people who had tried blue light glasses were things like, "I'm not sure that they completely solve the problem for me." This is where the other causes of eye strain come in, that blue light products on their own cannot address. And these are screen glare and dry eyes, both confirmed by the American Optometric Association. The second is screen glare. Screen glare occurs when external light reflects off of the screen, making it harder to see what's on your device and further straining your eyes. The third is dry eyes. So even if blue light and screen glare are reduced, we found that your eyes still become dry and irritated because your eyes blink less frequently when staring at screens.
As we continued looking into this problem, we became concerned about eye strain and its related side effects being a long-term health issue. So we wondered why eye care products weren't included or even highlighted through wellness stipends at companies or university health programs. These programs benefit the entire organization, with Johnson & Johnson estimating around a $2.71 return for every dollar spent on their wellness program, with a total of $250 million in healthcare costs saved. According to the Wellness Council for America, companies currently spend approximately $150 per employee per year on wellness programs and benefits, which would mean that tech giants like Google and Microsoft would spend over $10 million on their total wellness program. Organizations show clear commitment to health and wellness and recognize its importance, yet none of these programs include eye care products.
So introducing our solution, Seer. It's an eye care service targeted toward college students and employees at tech firms. So we offer multiple different products. Our main products will be blue light and glare resistant glasses, contact screen protectors, and eye drops. This range of products addresses all three major causes of eye strain. And we mean for the service to be employer or university sponsored so that it encourages people to take care of their eyes on a daily basis, just like we brush our teeth every day.
Because we see this problem most in students and tech workers, we will target our solutions as additions to university health programs and company wellness programs. We plan on selling primarily B2B to both tech companies and universities, with a secondary D2C model for individual consumers. Our products will be sourced from independent manufacturers and will start by pitching to Brown for package purchases for their students and then scaling to nearby universities and ideally nationwide if successful. In terms of our revenue, for instance, just like universities pay for software like Microsoft Office for their students to use for classes, the university or company will pay for a yearly subscription, and individuals are free to choose their own items. They will go onto our website, fill out a short questionnaire, and choose which products they want. And at the end, they will be asked to put in their institutional or company login. Similarly, individuals who aren't covered by the benefits and wellness program would just check out with their personal ID.
So just like with other aspects of your health, we know that everyone experiences symptoms differently. And we want to make personalization a priority. And we do this through a quick and easy to take quiz on our website. So let's say Kevin, who is a software engineer at Google, spends at least 10 hours a day on his device, and he's really looking for a solution to relieve his symptoms. This is what the quiz might look like for him. The quiz, which you can see on the slide, curates a selection of products for you based on your responses that best complement how you already take care of your eyes. So Kevin would first be asked to select any screen-related side effects that have been bothering him lately. So let's say that he's really enduring headaches and fatigue. He would select those and would then be asked if he has a pre-existing eye prescription. So with this question, for workers like Kevin who wear glasses, we'll recommend products that meet their current prescription so that they can protect their eyes while still seeing their best. And finally, Kevin would be asked what products he's interested in. This showcases the full range of products that we have that address all causes of eye strain and allow our users to select the ones that they feel like they would most use. After submitting, Kevin will be recommended a selection of products that fit his eyesight needs and will have the option to choose his preferred styles. Once he's happy with the products in his cart, he'll then check out with his Google credentials here. Overall, our customers don't have to worry about adjusting their lifestyle to use our products. We will adjust our products to fit their lifestyle.
So eye strain relief products already exist in the market. But the thing is, these companies usually only offer one product. For instance, some might just offer glasses like Warby Parker, and these don't address symptoms like dry eyes and often can be more focused on aesthetics than on eye care itself. What Seer does completely differently includes A, having multiple options, which reduces the need for people to research what other eye care products exist and then seek them out from multiple other companies to try them out. B, we also target universities and employers. So to our knowledge, we are the first company offering a service of this nature. And then to tie all of this together, most companies are remote for the foreseeable future. Some, like Spotify's Work From Anywhere program, have adopted a permanent work from home or hybrid model. Companies are becoming more and more sensitive to the fact that their employees are spending so much time on screens for work. And Seer is exactly what remote workers are searching for. We asked a group of students and tech employees if they'd use a service like Seer, and we got a really positive response, with almost 90% saying that they would. So in general, this is a great opportunity for universities and companies to follow through with their commitment to their community's wellness.
We're currently in the exploration phase of launching Seer, and we plan on spending the next 3 to 5 months validating our approaches, such as how we're manufacturing our products and getting ready to pitch to investors by August. We know that this is a huge problem, and we want to make sure our product best meets people's needs. Lastly, Grace, Samia, and I want to emphasize that we personally deal with the negative effects from looking at our screens every single day. And we know that all of you listening here, staring at our faces on this Zoom call, probably face these daily pains too. We know that this solution would really help us, and we want to share it with all students and remote workers too, and make eye care an easy, everyday part of all of our lives. Thank you again for taking the time today to learn about Seer, and we're happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Well, thanks for sharing this. You've got a customer here, and certainly something I think a lot about in my day-to-day role. So, I'm curious about your assumptions with the business model. So, are you going to be manufacturing and branding your own products, and if so, what kind of margins do you anticipate getting in the market?
Yeah, I can take that question. So yeah, slide 15. Thank you, Claire. So this is something that we thought about a lot, whether we should manufacture our own products or if we should outsource from existing sources. So we aren't planning on manufacturing our own products because, as we mentioned, Warby Parker and like Johnson & Johnson, they're very established in the market right now. It's pretty saturated and the costs of manufacturing are very high, especially for prescription lenses. It's not like we're creating some sort of like amazing new coating that we can use. So we thought that it would be a really good idea to actually outsource, and something that we've been considering and something that we'll continue looking into for our exploration phase is sourcing from local optic stores. So increasingly, the eye care industry has been regulated by a lot of giants. I think Johnson & Johnson itself takes up about 40% of the market share. And so with that, we think that it would be a win-win to stand out from competitors. And then if that doesn't necessarily work out, another alternative is to take a look at general manufacturers. So this is just something that we'll be kind of scoping out as we go.
I'm curious, this is really cool. I totally relate to the screen problem. So good bottom-up research there. But I'm curious sort of where you want to sort of establish your competitive mode, right? Because right now it sounds like you might have a quiz and sort of target it, but what if people just do like take the quiz and then they go buy all their supplies somewhere else, right? And so I'm just curious how you're going to establish that competitive mode for yourselves.
Sure, I can take this question. So we really want to emphasize that Seer gives you value through these 3 things: convenience, personalization, and lifestyle. So we know that people or HR companies, HR at companies can just source these products independently from different companies. That's definitely an option. But at SEER, we do the searching for you. So we consolidate all of the latest and best research to source the products that you know will actually alleviate symptoms from screen time use. And we'll also provide personalization through our quiz, like you mentioned, so that every product is catered to what each employee and student actually wants and no products are actually wasted or unwanted. And finally, we aim to create a popular brand through SEER that normalizes eye care so that you're purchasing from a brand that people really admire and respect and would be happy to own products from.
Great. Thank you so much, Sierra, and thank you, judges. I'd now love to introduce Ignite.
Hi, come on.
Hello, everyone. My name is Amit. I'm here with my co-founders, Anjali, Leo, and Luke, to present Ignite, the platform that will facilitate collaboration among Gen Z entrepreneurs. As members of Innovation Dojo, my co-founders and I have been excited about entrepreneurship for many years. We're not alone in our fascination with innovation. A recent Forbes article stated that 54% of Gen Z want to be entrepreneurs. We're passionate about identifying creative solutions to pressing problems our world faces. Each of us can recall several times we had an appealing idea for a startup that could positively impact the world, yet we struggled to push our ideas into implementation. Upon discussing this issue with fellow students and entrepreneurs at Brown, we've realized that one of the primary reasons people fail to push ideas into reality is that they struggle to find the right people to collaborate with. It's well known that successful innovations are the product of a strong team with a unified vision and skills and personalities that complement each other. Yet for many of us, it almost feels impossible to find the right people to collaborate with. Realizing this issue is widespread among aspiring Gen Z innovators and understanding our world faces so many problems that aren't being addressed, we decided to create an app that bridges the gap between potential collaborators. Enter Ignite, a mobile app that facilitates entrepreneurial connections among members of Generation Z.
So as Amit just mentioned, we serve members of Generation Z, and we do this by very specifically catering to their needs. So as a user of Ignite, I would first download the app and be prompted to set up my account. In my profile, I'd provide a brief bio of myself, an overview of my skill set, and a short summary of what I'm currently working on. So say I'm someone who just started an initiative, I could provide a small description of it. And then, most importantly, I'd indicate my target collaboration. Since Ignite's key purpose above all is to create meaningful connections, we want this aspect to be highlighted, and we've currently split it up into 3 categories. 1, I'm someone who's just started a venture and I need a specific role on my team to be filled. So I'd indicate my target collaboration as, say, a co-founder or a web designer. Second, I'm someone who has a problem that I really want to solve, but I haven't been able to come up with a solution. So I need someone to brainstorm and ideate with, making that my target collaboration. And third, I just want to be a general networker and member of the Ignite community where I can very easily connect with other like-minded individuals. I would then express my interest in other profiles by swiping right on them. This would send a notification to that person, allowing them to accept my connection and open up a chat space with me. This matching process would also allow us to see more aspects of each other's profiles, such as work experience and hobbies. Other features that we intend to include are a toggle that allows you to filter through the profiles that you want to sift through, and an explore page where members can share stories of their past successful ignitions and hopefully inspire others.
As Amit and Anjali just emphasized, our app is Gen Z oriented, and it's our mission to provide a non-intimidating environment that connects diverse individuals and groups, all while mixing casual and professional. Our go-to-market strategy will be segmented into 4 phases. In the first phase, we will develop a minimum viable product that will release to a small and diverse group of students and entrepreneurs on Brown's campus, which will align with our social media launch phase. This MVP will allow us to find critical insights into our customers' perceptions, and from this feedback, we will make the necessary adjustments that will transition us into our social media expansion period, where our team will work diligently to increase our social media upload consistency, recruit campus ambassadors, release online promotions, and spotlight successful connections and ventures. With these goals in mind, phase 2 will allow for a natural growth and for our customer acquisition in the US, while remaining cost-effective by avoiding paid advertising. During these first two phases, we hope to complete more research on market dynamics, competitors in the space, potential collaborators, and product positioning. The next two phases will focus on product expansion, where we work with our contracted app developers to expand the app's capabilities by including regional matching, more fine-tuned searching, and a larger and more comprehensive collection of filters so our users can better express themselves and their ventures. This will eventually lead to more efficient and targeted collaborations in the US and abroad. We hope to reach a critical mass of our customer base of a few thousand users before releasing our premium model. In our premium model, there will be two tiers, the Spark and Ignition package, which will allow for a more personalized matching experience for our customers and a broader set of tools at their disposal to successfully ignite their ventures, such as mentors, investor directories, and much more.
As for our competitive landscape, we divide our competitors into two categories. One is the professional networking platforms, such as LinkedIn, Handshake, and WayUp, which focus on fostering professional connections among users. The second category is entrepreneurship-focused platforms, such as Co-Founder and Startup Nation, which are very content-focused, providing articles, discussion boards, and podcasts to innovation enthusiasts. What we've realized is that there's a gap between these two categories, with no Gen Z-centered platform that provides networking for the sake of entrepreneurship. Ignite bridges that gap, providing an app that not only facilitates professional networking, but fosters connections specifically for the sake of entrepreneurial collaboration.
Let me tell you a little more about what makes Ignite unique and why it is the best solution to these problems. First, Ignite is the only networking and collaboration app specifically designed and catered towards members of Gen Z. By emphasizing community and encouraging casual interaction, our users feel comfortable and engaged, which leads to more and better collaborations. This is in stark contrast to sites like LinkedIn, where interactions and posts are highly formulated and performatory. Further, while LinkedIn is focused on connecting with people you already know, Ignite allows for users to expand their network by meeting people they never would have met otherwise. Another way we cater to younger users is that in our profiles, we don't emphasize resumes or require prior experience. Young users may not have already had the opportunity to participate in standard resume building activities, and we don't want this to hold them back. Therefore, our profiles highlight other characteristics like skills, interests, and hobbies, which enable users to find people they'd be truly interested in working with. Next, Ignite's user interface and functionality allows for instant and seamless communication amongst its users. When two users match, they're instantly able to communicate with text and audio messaging. But we don't stop there. Right in the chat, we allow for seamless transition to external collaboration platforms like Zoom, G Suite, and Microsoft Workplace. By linking users' Ignite accounts with these platforms, with just one click, they can find themselves face-to-face in a Zoom meeting or collaborating on a Google Doc. All in all, providing Ignite users with the best collaboration tools right at their fingertips. Here is a brief overview of what we're working on now, as well as our action items for the near future. We're currently talking to more and more young people from different backgrounds to better understand their struggles and desires. Using this information, we'll design an MVP that meets and exceeds their needs. This will be released to a select group of Brown students at the beginning of next school year, allowing us to gather even more information about the user experience and how to improve our app. Next, we'll release the beta version to a wider audience in January of next year. We cannot wait to get Ignite into the hands of more entrepreneurs.
And to finish off, this is our team backing Ignite. As you can see, we demonstrate a variety of specializations, but what we all share is this strong passion to create meaningful connections. As I've grown older, I'm realizing the power of starting a conversation, oftentimes with no end goal. I've also realized that our generation is naturally collaborative, and we do epitomize the spirit of entrepreneurship. If we can master connecting Gen Z go-getters from around the world, we will witness global collaboration on a scale never seen before. Ignite will intentionally foster these collaborations and hopefully indirectly change the world. Thank you for listening, and we're happy to answer any questions you may have.
Great to see the enthusiasm Gen Z has for entrepreneurship, and it's quite meta where you are building a startup that makes it easier for other people to build startups. So, finding a co-founder is probably one of the hardest things ever. It's like a marriage. You have to make sure that you're fully aligned on many things and complementing your skill sets. So, how do you keep the bar high in the users that you bring on, and make sure that people aren't wasting their time, that there really are these potentials for matches to take off into something great.
I can take this question. Anjali, feel free to add on. But first of all, we really believe in being inclusive and giving people exposure to as many people as possible. I already touched on how for LinkedIn, it's really centered around your own network and people you already know. But one of the beautiful things about Ignite is with the different filters, you have access to people potentially all over the country or the world. And the way that we make it easy for our users to narrow down who they'd really like to work with is through our profile design. As you can see here, we take the best elements of resumes, social media profiles, and LinkedIn profiles to create the all-in-one, all-encompassing Ignite profile, which is the best way to figure out what someone is really like and whether or not you'd want to work with them. Of course, though, one profile isn't going to be enough, which is why we also make it so easy to immediately communicate with other users and to find out if you guys have the right compatibility.
I have two questions. The first is about market penetration. I'm wondering what percentage of end users you anticipate will subscribe to free versus premium accounts. And related to that, I was hoping that you could expound on your revenue model a little bit more.
Go ahead and take that one. Thanks for the great question. Anjali, if you want to go to the revenue stream model, please. So basically, Ignite will be segmented into 3 different packages. There's the free package, the Spark package, and the Ignite package. And the Ignite package will be the most costly, but it will have the most bang for your buck, in a sense that depending on what tier you are in your venture process, the Ignition package will allow you to have the most comprehensive mentorship and features that will allow successful ventures to be started from the Ignition package. In terms of how many people would want to join the free package, I would say there's probably a high amount of Gen Z entrepreneurs. As we mentioned in the beginning, 54% of Gen Zs want to be entrepreneurs but just don't have the necessary connections, the people to work with. We all have great ideas, but it's really about the execution. So I think even the free package offers some value to our customers, with the Spark package being more about connection and more about facilitating those connections among potential co-founders, and the Ignition package being really where we turn up the heat and make sure that your successful venture is brought to fruition.
Just to add to that, I think we can bring in our bottom-up research here, where we were looking in terms of like quantifiable traction and initial users. And if we consider at Brown, the entrepreneurship program, I think it has a network of around 70 people. And if we generalize this to the other colleges in the region, and the enthusiasm that we've seen from the initial co-founders and prospective entrepreneurs that we've spoken to, I think we're pretty confident that the first few thousand users would use the free package very willingly. And then we'd introduce the next few stages, as we've mentioned.
I want to really quickly follow up on Dave's question, because I think he's absolutely right. It's really hard to find the exact right person. And from a little bit of experience with paid hiring platforms, right? An experience I've had is that you get a lot of applications, but they're not necessarily as high quality as you want them to be, right? There isn't that sort of quality assurance. And I feel like if you're looking for a co-founder and you would get a lot of matches that maybe aren't at all what you're looking for, you would get discouraged. So how do you make sure that you get people that are the right caliber or have the right skill sets that you're actually looking for?
I can speak a little bit to this question. One thing that we do that's sort of Hinge, if you've ever used that app, you don't necessarily, once somebody swipes on somebody else and tries to match with them, it's not an immediate match. It's more of the other person also has to initiate the match as well. So you're not really going to get matches that you don't want to see in your inbox necessarily, because you're going to be the one that's actually facilitating those matches. So you're really bringing in the people that you want to see and that you think will bring the most value to your venture.
And just to add to that, I think our target consumers are Gen Zers. And as we kickstart at least, I think we want to fixate on their needs rather than like the quality, because I think one thing that a lot of the individuals that we spoke to expressed was that other networking platforms that do exist currently and are very established, it has become a lot of like a resume game and just displaying your credentials and showing that you've had a lot of work experience. But we don't want to have that expectation of our consumers. I think that intimidation that creates can often stop people from sharing their ideas in the first place. So I think we want to build that ability to just be vulnerable, share your ideas, know that this is a safe space where you're likely to find someone who would be excited about this idea as well. And then once we've solidified that mechanism, I think we can start considering quality more.
Thank you so much, Ignite. I'm definitely very fired up, but now we'd love to hear from Shtick.
Hi, my name is Sam, this is Will, and we are Shtick, the cessation vaping program to make quitting shtick. Chances are you, a friend, or a relative is addicted to vaping. Most likely, that person in your life addicted to nicotine has tried, is trying, or will try to quit. Quitting something as addictive as nicotine is hard. I've seen my dad try to quit smoking for years. In his 40s, he picked up the habit accidentally, trying one, and unfortunately getting hooked. It took him years to quit, despite desperately wanting to.
My grandfather smoked for over 50 years, and over the past summer, I unfortunately watched him die of lung cancer resulting from years of smoking. As such, smoking cessation is an issue incredibly close to my heart.
Vaping is an epidemic plaguing multiple generations of smokers and non-smokers. 27.5% of high schoolers use vape products according to the Truth Initiative. 9% of US adults regularly or occasionally vape according to a Gallup report. More than half, 54.5% of high schoolers and middle schoolers report seriously thinking about quitting vaping, and 52.9% have tried to quit in the past year, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. If nearly half of all users have thought of quitting or have tried to quit, why haven't they? Because quitting is hard, especially during COVID when mental health is at an all-time low. There's also a fundamental issue that plagues all current vape products. There was no thought put into how sustainable rapid distribution of these products would be. Users frequently litter plastic pods, batteries, and even whole disposable devices, which are rapidly rising in popularity. As you can see in this video, when people also decide to quit their nicotine delivery devices, they throw them into bodies of water, crush them with hammers, or even flush them down the toilet. This creates an insane amount of waste. It is estimated that between 1 and 2 billion pods are discarded annually, and that is considered to be an underestimate. As two sustainable development concentrators, Will and I are passionate about reducing this waste. Shtick's solution is to create a cessation vaping program that helps users quit while prioritizing sustainability. The base of the program is our vape pen, which is a reusable proprietary battery cased within biodegradable plastic derived from algae and pods composed of biodegradable ceramic material. The pods contain naturally flavored vape juice without toxic chemicals and heavy metals, and the juice inside isn't too sweet. With the purchase of a Shtick, users can connect their vape to our app using a code given with their purchased battery. The app can be used to control the amount of nicotine released from the vape and amount of puffs allowed per day. Within the app, there will be 3 tailored treatment plans. The program will be tailored to 3 types of smokers: social, frequent, and heavy users. Customers would purchase a tailored program ranging from 3 to 12 months based on smoking history and daily nicotine consumption. Each program would consist of a tapering schedule, as well as the ability to purchase deluxe plans with in-depth meditation and breathing guides. To outline our 3 treatment plans, we have 3 users: Thomas, the social smoker, Allison, the frequent user, and Derek, the heavy user. Thomas would have a 3-month treatment plan that prompted him when to stop and when he should turn his temperature down. Allison would have a 6-month treatment plan that gradually tapered, and Derek would have a 12-month treatment plan that gradually tapered, and is also suggested that he would purchase the deluxe package in his journey to quitting vaping. One of the most important features of Shtick is our recycling program. After Shtick customers quit, they are given the option to return their battery with a prepaid shipping label and receive their deposit back. This deposit would be about $8. It's just an incentive for them to return their device. Along with this deposit, users can feel happy that their device will be repurposed to help another person quit, appealing to their altruistic side. Once you receive a battery back, you'll take off the biodegradable casing, throw it away, and recover the battery for another user's use. And next, will talk about why Shtick is a healthier alternative to current offerings on the market.
Thank you, Sam. So compared to other offerings on the market, we believe Shtick would be a much healthier alternative. This is namely due to our natural herbal flavors that are pleasant but will aid quitting and aren't as saccharine as other offerings on the market. We will offer non-harmful preservatives, and our product will lack diacetyl, which is a very harmful chemical which has been known to cause popcorn lung, which is somewhat of an epidemic amongst youth users. There's nothing quite like Shtick. Shtick is the only vape designed to help users actually quit while limiting harmful additives and while prioritizing sustainability. Shtick is for the consumer that isn't willing to compromise sustainability and health risks on their journey of quitting. Our business model is business to business. We will sell our vaping products to gas stations, bodegas, mini marts, and smoke shops. Our vapes are purchased with the intention to be returned through our recycling program after users quit, with users purchasing pods as they use the program. We will also directly sell to consumers on our app, allowing them to purchase deluxe packages with meditation and breathing exercises through a subscription-based model. Vaping is a $7.4 billion industry that sustainability hasn't quite cracked yet. We're entering the vaping industry because it is currently maliciously using the highly addictive nature of nicotine to boost revenues while taking advantage of multiple generations, namely Gen Z. 2/3 of this market wants to quit for good. It is also worth noting that nicotine is among the 5 most addictive drugs on earth, rivaled by meth and heroin. Biodegradable pods we also could believe to be expanded within the cannabis industry. And it is also worth noting that just because Shtick might appeal to young users doesn't necessarily mean that older people interested in sustainability and smoking cessation wouldn't want to purchase our product. We have allotted a year to design our product and source the appropriate materials, 2 months to design our app, and 2 months to design our wellness and recovery curriculum while consulting the appropriate medical professionals. In terms of getting legal approval, these vaping regulations vary from state to state. Shtick will be headquartered within Rhode Island, which is where the following regulations are from. Shtick will need FDA approval from the FDA Center of Tobacco Products. This process is called the Pre-Market Tobacco Application, or the PMTA process. This process is mandated by the Family Smoking Prevention and Tobacco Control Act of 2009. In terms of competitors, we've divided them up into 4 main categories. On the left, we have Juul, which is currently the leader within the industry. They offer a proprietary battery and non-refillable plastic pods, which you can encounter on any walk to work. In the center, we have Puff Bar. They started in the past few years and they offer disposable vapes. They offer a higher end product that utilizes app compatibility. However, it's not available in the iOS store. It must be downloaded through a third-party browser. On the right, we have Box Mods, which are older, clunkier, refillable devices that often break and must be replaced. Not shown are lower tier vapes. They're disposable, have cheap fluid, are unsafe, contain heavy metals, and in the past have exploded on their users. Thus far, we have consulted Ethan Wu Mei, who's an industrial designer at Zens Labs, Shuyu Gong, who's a designer at IDEO, and Tony DeSimone, who's a notable cannabis entrepreneur in California. All believe this product is manufacturable, cutting edge, and would strongly perform within the marketplace. In conclusion, Shtick is what we see to be the natural evolution of a product which is deemed essential to the everyday lives of people ranging from high schoolers to the elderly. It is what we deem to be the next sustainable and public health-minded innovation in smoking cessation technology. Shtick is the future of smoking. It is the only real option for a sustainably minded smoker trying to help their healthy habits shtick. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll field any questions you have.
Hi, I was wondering what the top reasons are that smokers will relapse when they're attempting to quit, and how does Shtick directly address these roadblocks to quitting?
Sorry, let me just. So we believe that structure is really the, structured programs, we believe, are sort of the differentiator within our product. People tend to relapse after kind of using a product after taking some time off. So we believe the structured program where you're weaned off gradually and your nicotine consumption is lessened and then ultimately cut off and you return your battery, we believe our product and the program we put people on will really help people keep users on track, essentially.
A huge reason for relapse as well is also social reasons. Like a lot of my friends who vape, if they're around other the peers who vape as well, it's really easy to just start again. And that's why we include our breathing and meditation guides to really promote mindfulness. And if you're around someone that's gonna promote like an unhealthy habit, to be able to take a step back and say, no, like I actually do not want to vape right now, and not really succumb to that influence.
You guys have any ideas of how you're going to manufacture the sort of reusable pods yet? Like, do you guys have any specific subject matter expertise that puts you at like an unfair advantage in that regard?
In our discussion with Ethan Wu Mei, he had previously consulted with a brand who had potentially been exploring ceramic pods, and due to poor leadership at the company, they were unable to kind of complete their product. However, he was incredibly optimistic and encouraging that this will be on the market in probably the next 5-10 years, and he strongly recommended that we try to be the company to bring the best product to the market with a ceramic biodegradable pod.
Thank you so much, Dick. I definitely do not want to get a ticket, but now we'd love to hear from Ticket.
Good afternoon. I am Brett, and these are my partners, Ben and Jack, and we are Ticket. Our goal is to revolutionize the way parking tickets are issued. Picture this scenario. A few months ago, I was driving into my home city, Philadelphia, and I needed a place to park while I grabbed lunch. I found a spot with a meter, but of course I had no quarters. I was in a rush though, so I left my car there anyway, hoping not to get a ticket. When I came back from my meal, I saw a parking enforcement officer walking down the block where my car was parked. So, naturally, I sprinted to my car, expecting to see a ticket. However, there was no slip on my windshield. Even though I parked without paying, the parking officer did not yet see my car. I felt lucky, but in reality, I broke the law and got away with it. And the city missed out on my money. So, I posed the question, why are parking enforcement officers still monitoring the streets on foot? Doesn't this seem outdated to you? Well, we are here with the solution. Introducing Ticket. Ticket is a software program for cameras that uses license plate recognition and time tracking to monitor city streets and identify everyday parking offenders. Our software eliminates human error by constantly monitoring illegal parking on streets. City governments are losing money by employing parking enforcement officers to walk the streets giving out tickets and missing ticketing opportunities. Ticket not only monitors street parking law, but it also uses technology similar to EasyPass to issue tickets to offenders via digital invoicing or the mail.
Now you might be wondering, why Ticket? Brett's story may seem lucky, but this is actually quite a common phenomenon. We conducted an anonymous poll with city residents and found that 90% of respondents reported breaking parking violations and not being ticketed in the past 5 years. 65% of those respondents reported doing the same in the past year alone. People are constantly breaking city laws, and human error is costing governments valuable revenue. On top of that, city governments are allocating precious budget resources, paying for the average parking enforcement officer salary of $40,000 a year. Cities such as New York City, with a large officer force of about 400 people, are paying as much as $16 million a year on enforcer salaries alone. Ticket offers an excellent opportunity for city governments to cut salary expenses, eliminate human error, and increase parking ticket revenue. Our plan is to work directly with city governments to eliminate the labor costs of monitoring street meters and employing parking enforcement officers. With city permission, we will utilize existing infrastructure, placing our cameras strategically on street signs,
stoplights, and other high places. This will help us avoid any unnecessary setup expenses. We will also take a three-phase implementation approach. We first plan to test our product in Providence because of local accessibility, and then we plan to expand it to more regions, starting with the East Coast and eventually covering the United States.
We plan to generate most of our revenue from city governments. Our plan is to take 20 to 25% of all revenue generated from city governments by ticket. Our subscription model encourages cities and municipalities to use our product due to no upfront cost. In addition to this, the amount of money saved by not employing a fleet of parking enforcement officers will be significantly greater than the cost. Our revenue model is similar to that of private red light companies such as Redflex and Vera Mobility, which can take up to 88% of all ticket revenue generated through them. We currently do not have any direct competitors. To make sure we not inspire competitors, we will be implementing 10-year exclusivity terms with each municipality we partner with. Here we have Park Mobile, a nationwide parking service that focuses mainly on private parking, as well as two local government-run options, one for Indianapolis, Indiana, and one for Palo Alto, California. As you can see, the only service offers all four characteristics shown: integrated ticket payment, available spot detection, available for public parking, and automated license plate detection and billing. Another important thing to note is how we approach available spot detection differently than competitors. In Indianapolis and Palo Alto, the 16 companies use sensors that are about the size of dinner plates that have to be screwed into the asphalt and detect if a car is in a spot or not. The problem with these is that they are worn down quickly and still require a parking enforcement officer to come to your car and leave a ticket. Our smart car recognition technology uses cameras mounted on high places like stoplights, electric poles, and lampposts, and does not require someone to walk to your car and leave a ticket, and instead mails a ticket directly to the offender. In terms of timing, we've already done the market research. We are currently in the process of designing UI and UX and plan to have that done by the end of May. Next, we will focus on the back end and work on the image recognition software necessary to recognize cars from roughly April to September. At the same time, we plan to have a group working in parallel, talking to city governments, planning where cameras would be located, and negotiating the price. Our first order of business will be testing Ticket in the College Hill neighborhood of Providence. We will start the beta testing in Providence in September, and around November, we should have all the information necessary we need to pursue our launch in December of this year. My name is Jack. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and living on a busy residential street, I find nothing more frustrating than someone illegally parks in my spot and I have nowhere to park.
My name is Benjamin Hokinson, and as a founder of an active consulting firm and a city resident, I'm passionate about using my skills and experience to convert on our vision for Ticket.
I'm Brett Geis from Williamstown, New Jersey, and having spent my high school years going to school in North Philly, I'm well acquainted with parking on the street, and I've had my fair share of close calls dodging tickets. Thank you for your time today. We really appreciate you coming out, and would be happy to field any questions you may have.
So governments are notoriously slow and bureaucratic in their decision making. So I'm curious, in your market research, or if you've started any discussions with them, how you feel like you can accelerate the sales cycle and scale this, because also it's a very local and regional play. All these governments are very different in how you approach them and work with them.
Yeah, sure, I can handle this. We've actually talked to 4 different municipalities: Chagrin Falls, Conshohocken, Canfield Township, and Orange Township. Chagrin Falls and Orange are both suburbs of Cleveland, and Canfield is a suburb of Youngstown, and Conshohocken is a suburb of Philly. Chagrin Falls is a small suburb with a dense city center with lots of parallel street parking. Orange is a large outdoor shopping center that was recently built, and Canfield is fairly spread out in a rural area, and Conshohocken's closer to the city, so it's a more blue-collar suburb and has a dense city center. So we kind of got a wide mix of all different types of cities involved here, and each of these cities were interested in different ways. Chagrin was interested in patrolling their downtown. Orange was interested in doing their shopping center. And we talked to the mayors of Chagrin Falls, Canfield, and Conshohocken. And we also talked to a lieutenant police chief at Orange Township. And they were all very interested in our technology and would be interested in implementing it in their city. So we also drew some mock-up pictures of how we would implement it in some cities. In the top left, that's Conshohocken. You can see we can put on electric poles there. In the bottom left, that's Chagrin Falls, my hometown. The bottom right, we have Canfield, Ohio, which is more rural. And the top right, we have Orange Township, Ohio. So
How do you think about cybersecurity and anti-surveillance? Because you're basically installing a CCTV system that is like perhaps only used to recognize license plates, but like may also be used to recognize faces and people and all sorts of other things. So how do you think about A, keeping your data safe, and B, like sort of the anti-surveillance pushback that you might get from having like cameras installed all over the city?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it's an obvious one that arises with this product. So first and foremost, the most important thing to state is that we do not use any face or person ID technology. Our software strictly identifies license plate numbers and uses information accordingly to issue tickets to offenders. In regards to the pushback we may experience, as a city resident myself, I've spent time living in Philadelphia, I've lived in New York City. I just know personally that when someone takes a spot and it fills up for me, it's a huge inconvenience. So we don't expect too much pushback because the increased accountability to keep parking spots open for people who actually use them should level out.
Thank you so much, Ticket. Let's now move on to hear what Link Up has to say.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. We are Link Up. My name is Louis, and I'm here with my co-founders, Celine and Stella. As first years, we are in the process of transitioning from high school to university, which means that we must start all over again in terms of friends. But to make matters much worse, we're in the midst of COVID-19, where remote students, such as Celine and I, have to figure out how to make new friends at Brown University exclusively online. In conducting our background research, we discovered that our experiences weren't isolated incidents. In fact, after randomly surveying 50 first-year students, we realized that the challenge of making new friends in a new environment in the middle of a pandemic is universal and can be summed up by the words of a fellow Brown University first year. This shit is hard, man, making friends online. Furthermore, the problem affects more than just Brown University students. 61% of those aged 18 to 25 reported high levels of loneliness. So where do we even start?
We introduce you Link Up, the new way to make friends and socialize within your community. Yes, there are a lot of dating apps, but nothing for making friends and forming a tight-knit community. Before we begin, let us take you through the 4 main pages of our app. The feed is where all the posted events will be listed. You can either scroll through several posted events, or you can tap on here and filter the posted events within your desired preferences. If you tap on the plus icon right here, you will be directed to the page where you can create an event to be posted on the feed. And tapping on the network icon right here will direct you to the linking page where you can see your matches and swipe through them. If you tap on the picture right here, you will be directed to the profile page. And tapping here will direct you to the bio page, which is a feature we will talk about more later. And finally, if you tap on the link icon right here, you will see all your pending link invites. We have 3 key features, and they are event, linking, and profile. Going deeper into the events feature, you can both plan and post an event in seconds and filter the posted events specifically to your schedule. As you can see in the middle prototype, there's an extensive list of filtering options. On the events feed, what is special is that you can see names within each event room, and badges make it easier for you to find events that your link or match is attending. There is no need to say your Google Calendar is connected to your LinkUp events. The linking feature provides a matching algorithm using your Myers-Briggs personality type and interests. On the linking page seen on the left, the people you have been matched with will be shown with the percentage of matching on the top left corner. You can swipe right and link up with them, or you can just hold on. But if you link up with them, then you will have a limited time period to plan an event with your link before the link expires. And on the right, you can see the page of your pending LinkUp invites. Finally, LinkUp fosters a new approach towards profile pages. The focus is on who you are and not how you look. There is a paragraph-long bio and a couple of pictures, just enough to give a sense of your personality.
So what makes LinkUp different from all the existing competitors? Well, LinkUp combines all the best aspects of social media profiles, dating apps, and event creation platforms like Facebook events. At the same time, LinkUp has a direct focus on friend creation through prioritizing and filtering by interest, showing compatibility scores, and submitting LinkUp requests. And by requiring verification through a university email, LinkUp ensures a safe and tight-knit community. Finally, one of the largest differentiating factors is LinkUp's event creation and invitation components. Not only can you create and invite existing links to events easily and spontaneously, but LinkUp's requirement that users invite new links to an event within 10 days of their initial LinkUp or the match expires incentivizes people to move beyond the dead-end conversations that are so ingrained in competitors like Bumble and Tinder. And as you can see below, LinkUp is the only one that checks off all of the boxes. So what are our user projections look like? Well, we estimate that by the end of the first year, LinkUp will be able to attract 1,000 users from Brown University, which accounts to approximately 10% of total students at Brown. From signed-up users, we estimate approximately 20% would visit the site each day, accounting to 200 daily active users. Most of our consumer base would likely be undergraduate students, primarily freshmen and sophomores, as this is a large target audience of our app. Now, what does LinkUp's revenue model look like? How will LinkUp actually make money? Well, LinkUp is completely free. So there are two primary ways in which LinkUp will actually make money. And this first one is through ad revenue. Based on existing research on the average click-through rate and cost per click, and utilizing our estimate of 200 daily active users, we estimate the LinkUp will make $162 per month in profit by the end of the first year. We want to emphasize that this is largely in the short term. Our long-term financial projections would be significantly higher. The second way that LinkUp will make money is through event promotion. This is the smaller source of revenue in which businesses, groups, organizations, or even individuals can pay $5 to have their event moved up to the top of the Events for You page. Assuming that approximately 20 different organizations engage in this per month, this would bring in an additional $100 per month of revenue. So LinkUp's expansion strategy comes in several different phases. We would first start with Brown University beta testing. If successful, we would move on to expand to other universities across the nation. And there are a couple ways that LinkUp would do this. First is through targeting freshman orientation groups, freshman Facebook pages, and social media, in which a lot of freshmen and lowerclassmen congregate, especially when they're transitioning to universities. We would also implement a campus ambassador program. This is similar to competitors like Bumble. In doing so, we hope to spread awareness of LinkUp and expand to universities across the nation. Finally, in the long term, we hope to expand to international universities and possibly even expand our consumer base. We recognize that the problem that LinkUp addresses isn't just unique to universities in the United States, and in fact, it's not just unique to university students. The same problem could be addressed by graduate students who are new to the workforce, and this is also a potential market that LinkUp could capitalize on. What does our current timeline look like? Well, by April, we would expect to finalize the design. And by May, we would begin app development, and hopefully by September, we would begin Brown University beta testing, and then subsequently engage in our expansion plan that was just mentioned. This is our team, and we believe that we have the qualifications and the passion to make LinkUp a reality. Thank you so much for watching, and we welcome any questions that you have.
I'm noticing a good pattern here where people are migrating away from the legacy social media platforms, which is, again, a healthy thing. And with a couple of other pitches here, and with Tag, which was recently in the news, also a Brown-founded social media company. The big question for me is, how do you reach that inflection point where you're going to have a mass migration over to something new? Like, what's the hook to really build up that user base and generate the flywheel effect where more and more people are going to come onto the platform?
Yeah, I can take that one. So in going back just really quickly to the competitors page, we believe that a couple of our features are really unique to the app and would make people want to join it. So one thing is that the event planning and marketing. So our app really brings together a lot of different components that a lot of other apps don't really have. So we hope that by having an event creation platform, people will actually be incentivized to meet up. And this would be a large reason we believe that our app would be successful and a lot of people across the nation would want to use it, specifically university students. And then going into a little bit, just expanding on how we would try to how we would try to get more users. Again, with our expansion program, we would really target the freshman classes and the orientation. And we would hope that we understand the transition from high school to university and university to the workforce is really hard. And so we believe that LinkUp in tackling it in several different ways would be really a good resource that a lot of people would want to use.
Just adding on to that, also, could you go to the events page, Stella?
Yes.
Thank you. Adding on to that, we have an events feature, which is so new to the market, because right now the more casual events are organized through like chats or just texting your friends, or Facebook events may be a source also. But according to our bottom-up research and our interviews, these just do not satisfy the market in terms of casual plans. So we created this events feature to personally create more efficiency for the casual and last minute event creation. Maybe you want to wander around Providence, maybe you just want to go to the CVS and pick up something and don't want to do it alone. So this will provide efficiency and a way to do that. And there is no other app that fosters this ability.
Thank you so much. Oh, is there another question? Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no worries. So I imagine that in a post-COVID future, there will be less of a reliance on virtual events. And I was wondering if you have any thoughts about how LinkUp might evolve to meet these needs, in addition to just fostering or facilitating in-person events.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great question. I can take that, and then Celine, if you want to elaborate a little bit as well.
Sure.
So we believe that the fact that there is the event creation platform really means that this is something that can be facilitated beyond COVID. So in real time, you mentioned that we would have access to in-person events, but we also believe that we are living in an increasingly technological age. And even pre-COVID, there were a lot of people using dating apps, using social media apps to find friends. And we believe that this would be no different. In fact, it would just be another resource. Potentially people who don't feel like they have the opportunity to engage with those on campus. Maybe they're taking a gap year. Maybe they're doing virtually, which we believe is something that will happen into the future as well. So we believe that this has like the opportunity to exist way beyond COVID, and also to be beneficial way beyond COVID as well.
I can also add on to that. You covered 99%. Even after COVID, like Stella also mentioned, you will need the specific filtering options to find all the events around you and all the events in a specific location and at a specific time within one app. And this gathering all these information in one hand is really useful, because right now it's so spread out into separate sources which are not satisfying the options.
Thank you, judges and the LinkUp team. Let's now, last but not least, hear from TechWise.
Take a second and imagine this all too familiar story. You're sitting on the couch and all of a sudden you see an incoming call from your grandparents. Oh no, you think to yourself as you pick up the FaceTime call to see this. For the next hour, you attempt to help them with some sort of minor technology problem that you could have fixed on your own in all of 30 seconds, like ordering something from Amazon or maybe downloading Zoom. Senior citizens who cannot keep up with rapidly advancing technology are left behind in today's digital world. I'm Maggie, and here's Jen and Maddie, and together we created TechWise, the new website to teach seniors internet skills anytime, anywhere.
TechWise hopes to solve the generational digital divide, as mastering the use of technology has become a key component of what it means to participate in society. Older adults face unique barriers to using and adopting new technologies. To get a sense of the full scope of this problem, let's look at some numbers. According to Pew Research Center, nearly half of older adults have needed someone else's help to set up or use a new digital device. And of those, more than a third have little to no confidence in their ability to perform online tasks. This is a huge problem, and if we don't provide technology access and training to older adults, we shut them out from our digital society, leaving them disconnected in a widening generational gap.
After speaking with 24 seniors over the age of 65, we found that 25% were semi-confident on the internet, while the other 75% were almost completely clueless. When attempting a new task, they used some sort of trial and error system, but would rely on asking others for help or just get frustrated and give up. All preferred using their laptops first, as they can easily control a mouse and a keyboard. One senior reported having taken local community technology classes, but not on a regular enough basis to solidify the skills that they needed to learn. We found that the most common things seniors want to learn are how to communicate better over text and email, how to video call using Zoom and FaceTime, how to operate their iPads, and how to tell if something was a scam or real.
Our solution is a senior-friendly website designed to teach them useful technology skills. We drew inspiration from Khan Academy and Duolingo, as there are different modules and sectors, so our seniors can choose exactly what they want to learn more about. For example, if someone wanted to learn how to use Zoom, one of our sample modules is changing the security settings on Zoom. Seniors can watch a short video of someone else doing it with an explanation, and then they can follow the directions in this interactive exercise to change their settings themselves. One special feature about our website is that there is no need to download anything onto the computer. All of our interactive exercises and content are integrated into the website, thereby eliminating any fear of seniors messing up and accidentally downloading a virus. After completing the lesson, our seniors can then move on to the next level and learn more difficult material. They can also look at past modules and take refresher quizzes in case they want to review skills they learned in the past. Here we have a quiz asking them to identify email scams. Once our users submit their answers, we then correct it with a brief explanation and keep track of their progress. We understand that doing a task just once is not enough to ingrain it in their memory, so our format really emphasizes repetition and success. Lastly, for seniors who need extra support beyond our modules, we offer tutoring sessions via an integrated video chat and screen sharing software such as Google Meet. Seniors can schedule an appointment with our trained personnel to answer any of their remaining questions. Through this model of support and structure, TechWise is revolutionizing the way senior citizens learn and use technology. Next, onto our target market. Although our primary users are seniors who lack knowledge on technology, our primary customers are their relatives who are usually burdened with the task of helping these seniors. This establishes a business-to-consumer model for our sales.
There are 4 current options that seniors have to learn about the internet: calling family members, search engines, customer support lines, and local YMCA/libraries. Here's why TechWise is the best solution though. Most often, seniors' first response to technological troubles is reaching out to their children or grandchildren. But this can become extremely frustrating for the person helping them, especially when it's something simple, like attaching a PDF to an email. Seniors also have the ability to look up their answers to their questions online, but most of the time, they aren't able to understand the solution and there's no reinforcement to the learning curve. Then who can they ask? Customer support hotlines? Over half the senior citizens we spoke to mentioned a rude or discouraging interaction with the customer service rep. Our team, however, is trained specifically to help senior citizens solve their issues and encourage them to reach out for future help. And even though local YMCAs and libraries seem like a good idea, they are not accessible 24/7. They are not consistent enough to support the learning curve. And with COVID, they are no longer occurring. As seen in the chart above, there's no better solution for senior citizens to learn how to use the internet. Unlike our competition, TechWise actually teaches seniors, caters toward them, and is accessible anytime, anywhere. Our revenue collection is based on a subscription-based model. Every single user gets their first 3 modules free. However, after their free trial, if users wish to continue with our program, they must pay a small fee. There are 2 main plans that users can purchase, and within those plans, they can choose to pay monthly or yearly. The first package they can purchase is the educational plan. This plan allows users to have access to all the modules in our database that they can use as many times as they want. This plan is offered at $2.99 per month or $29.99 per year. The other plan we offer is our support plan. Not only does this include unlimited usage of our modules, but also 24/7 access to our helpline and 5 tutoring sessions per month. The support plan is priced at $4.99 per month or $49.99 per year. And by purchasing the yearly plan, the user gets a 17% discount on the price of the monthly plan.
Our first step will be building out the website version of TechWise as we learn that seniors are already more comfortable with their laptop compared to their phones. Our website MVP will be finished in the next month, and then we'll begin testing the ease of the user interface with a batch of 100 users. After this, we'll begin our marketing plan through the summer and launch our mobile application version in the fall. We know that technology is critical for all ages, so we're excited to bring about the next generation of TechWise seniors. Any questions?
I mean, this is super relatable. Like, I'm sure every one of us, or like a lot of us, have like helped somebody like turn off the subtitles on the TV or like whatever it might be. So I'm really curious about this project, and I actually worked with the city of San Jose in California to try to help get older people signed up for vaccines online. So I'm like really curious. They were still really struggling to get people onto like digital platforms that were older, especially, right, to even coordinate. So what is your plan to actually incentivize somebody to like go to an online learning platform in the first place if they're sort of used to just like calling people on the phone?
Yeah, so I can take that question. So we really want the consumers to be the relatives of seniors. So like they should be the one who are really like encouraging the seniors to go to our website. But seniors in general will choose to use our website because we have a clean and simple user interface designed specifically with these seniors in mind. We also have no ads on our website, so we don't have deceptive or false ads from targeting our users. And unlike our competitors, our learning modules are accessible anywhere, anytime. And I'm glad you brought up the point that even, with other people around, it's still very difficult for these seniors to learn, which is why we have an interactive content or exercise built in so that within their screen or the website, they can click around and try conduct the trial and error system to learn themselves. So the format of our website really encourages seniors to challenge themselves and also progress through the material.
Hi, so I know that EdTech is a fairly saturated industry. What's your competitive advantage over, and how do you differentiate yourselves from other senior-focused EdTech companies such as Lido and Get Set Up?
So basically, like our website models like a similar kind of basis toward like Duolingo and like Chegg, and like that senior citizens are going to be faced with interactive modules that they can kind of watch videos and do on their own. So it's a very kind of, in a sense, like if you've ever used Duolingo, kind of like a fun learning experience. And if you're wondering too, like if people would actually pay for this service, not only did our bottom-up research prove that senior citizens are looking for a way to be more intellectually literate, but if you look at websites similar to ours, like I mentioned before, Duolingo and Chegg, Duolingo has 1 million users and Chegg has 2.9 million users. So using that information, we could apply it to TechWise, and that people are willing to learn and people are willing to pay for these services. And I think the like main differentiation between like ours versus other tech sites is just that they're not well known enough, because when we did our bottom up research, none of the seniors that we talked to use these sites. And even doing like simple research on Google, it was very hard to like really find these sites unless you delved into them. So like we definitely have like marketing plans to to get our name known to be like kind of the leading competitor in like the ed tech industry.
One other thing I want to add as well is we are differentiated by our integrated tutoring service. So not only can users use the modules to learn, but they also, if they pay the extra price, have access to tutoring sessions, which they would get 5 per month, and the helpline. So that's pretty different than the other ed tech targeted towards seniors.
I like the approach of targeting the families. Could you talk a bit more about just how do you find those customers and your marketing plan to engage them to get their loved ones and seniors onto this platform?
Yeah, so our main plans for marketing the website, firstly, we're looking at nursing homes and using the nursing home workers to hold clinics to get seniors to navigate to the site and set up an account using their help. Additionally, we're going to offer a 10% corporate discount. So if an entire nursing home were to be on our site, we would offer them a substantial discount. Another way we would do this is using those local YMCAs and libraries to partner with us, because those clinics are usually volunteer-based. And if we have those volunteers use our website as their main platform instead of just having to host their own stuff, we would create the content and then they could just use us. Finally, we thought of using Best Buy and other tech stores to have our website already preloaded onto the computer and help seniors sign up for an account when they purchase a new device. So we heard that someone that we talked to, that their grandma had to have Netflix already loaded on their computer when they got it because they couldn't navigate to it themselves. So by using Best Buy and these other tech stores, we would have it already integrated into the laptop and they could just pay for it when they buy the computer. And then this would also incentivize families to purchase a new laptop with the software already on it for Christmas presents or birthday presents.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you, TechWise, and thank you to all of the other teams who just pitched. We're now going to go into a brief intermission, around 10 to 15 minutes, just so the judges can deliberate, but feel free to turn your camera off and stretch your legs, and we'll see you back shortly.
We'll be coming together at about 5:55. So if you want to step away from your computer, just keep an eye on the time so you can come back together and hear our deliberations and some final wrap-up points. Thank you so much for joining us. And congrats to the Dojis for doing an amazing job so far.
The judges' breakout rooms have been opened.
We're going to get started in just a minute. If everyone wants to come back to their computers, we're going to give it another minute or two so everyone can get back. Awesome. So we're at 5:55. Hopefully everyone is back at their computers. And we are going to hand it off to the judges to announce our 3 winners.
Great. So in third place, we really like that this team has really offered something new that we haven't thought about for something that we think about every day. So with that, congratulations to Sear.
And in second place, we have Stick. We really like the sustainability aspect of the company, as well as that they were addressing a huge public health issue. And additionally, we were impressed with how thoroughly they had thought through many aspects of the business model.
And in first place, we really liked how thoughtful the team was about a go-to-market approach. They've clearly done their homework and their research on a lot of different angles on what's going on in their space. And it's a huge market that is growing every day. So with that, I'd like to congratulate TechWise.
Yay. Congratulations to the ventures. So thank you so much to the judges and again to the ventures and all 7 ventures for an incredible semester of hard work. Dojo is not an easy experience to replicate virtually, but I think with the help of everyone in the cohort, we not only managed to do it, but we killed it. Every pitch was incredible, and I hope you're all walking away from Dojo with an entirely new domain of knowledge, entrepreneurship. Another thank you and shout out to all our guests here today. Thank you for everyone coming out to support the Dojis, not just today, but throughout the semester. We wouldn't be able to run this program without everyone's families, our wonderful speakers, judges, and the resources of the entire Nelson Center. And as I don't want to take away too much time from your Friday evenings, I'll close it off with that. And thank you again to everyone in the Dojis. If you could stay on for a few minutes extra just for a final cohort picture.
Thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you.
Congrats, everyone. Great job.
Thank you all.
We're so excited. Thanks again for joining us.
Congrats, TechWise. Woohoo.
Good job, guys.
Congrats, everyone. You really,
and everyone, you guys all absolutely killed it. It was amazing. Every pitch.
Amazing job, everyone. So impressed.
You guys are done. Yay!
Also, can we give a huge shout out to the grandparents or not grandparent or parents who had their camera on the entire time and just were so engaged. I was looking at them particularly during the TechWise performance or pitch, but I don't know who's